DBJ here. Recently there was a thread on RPG Brigade about gender roles in role-playing games and how we as gamers have not advanced enough concerning gender roles, and how there's a little bit of a pushback from Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, or next, concerning a paragraph in their book about playing gender roles. And I'm just introducing this because it became a personal challenge to me to create something for the RPG community that encourages it. So what I'm going to do is, these are going to be a series of videos of my own personal challenge. No one challenged me particularly to create a situation where you can delve into gender roles in a role-playing setting. So I'm going to describe a town or a community and how I would use those gender roles to explore it. And sorry about the long intro, but I hope you enjoy it. All right, this town has City of Gods, and down the main avenue of this town are statues that dedicated to the pantheon of gods in whatever game you have. And in this pantheon, the community here is strangely in support of all the religions in your game world. And they don't have any bias, whether good, evil, lawful, chaotic, if you use Dungeons & Dragons, unless those religions are extremely violent and harsh. They are included in this City of the Gods. And one of the strange things about this community that separates itself from any other that encourages worship and devotion to any and all the gods is that the people here feel that they have not completely committed to their god unless they are of the gender that god is most commonly associated with. So for men who worship a goddess of, say, war, they will try their best to move towards that gender. Whether this means dressing that way, acting that way, and eventually moving on to finding medical professionals that will alter their gender, or using magic to alter their gender. And it is rumored that those that are dedicated enough, their gender will change over time based on their dedication. So there are some of these churches that you go to on this avenue, the gods, where all of the upper echelon are of one particular gender, male, female, both, or neuter, or a strange combination thereof based on that god. And the outwards of this community, some people find them a little bit not just fascinating, but almost like fascist, because there's a small minority of people that do not agree with this outside of this Avenue of the Gods, this town, because they feel that although you should be dedicated to your deity, you know, I should not have to change myself to do that. But in this context, people that are dedicated to these gods take it so far that they will change and willingly change their gender. And some things you can explore in this idea is that PCs who are very devoted to their gods, whether they're paladins or clerics or maybe even druids, if you want to go there, if they lose faith, would they change back into their old gender, or would they stay that way? Or let's say there was a partial change before they achieved full gender change. Would they remain that way or change back to their old gender? I'm under the assumption that their sexual preference would not change, just their gender would change. And how much honor would this give if a young man was married to a young lady and he joined the church and of this deity, and it was a female, and he ended up moving up into the upper echelons and became female, he would still be married to his wife, and he would be a she. And would he lose faith? Would his wife leave her if she lost faith in the God, or did something to offend the God and was reverted back to a man? Would it be more important for, say, a spouse to want their significant other to make the gender change if necessary for their devotion, or would they want them to leave these the deity and change back? And I think it would be very strange if. And I think a really cool way to delve into gender issues and gender identity, and also by inserting it into a prearranged game world, and adding that one little caveat into it, would that isolate the city, or would the devotion in this city spread out like wildfire and start catching on elsewhere? Especially dangerous if there are those who feel that they're significantly devoted to their deity for years, and then find that they need to make one additional change. Would they agree to it? And lastly, of course, this always has to do with PCs. I mean, with players. I'm not talking about characters, but players. Would players accept that? Would they tolerate it? How would they act? Beyond some of the more childish thoughts, you could really go into some detail with this. And this is my first attempt to try to create something where you can really delve into gender identity, into a role-playing game, still make it fun, without changing rules, without stressing people out, and being able to insert it into your own game world. So, guys, please, I love all the comments. Please comment back whether you love the idea, whether you hate it, whether I suck. That's cool with me. But I'd love to get some feedback. And when I say positive feedback, I would like positive feedback in terms of thought. And I hope the RPG Brigade takes up the challenge, and maybe somebody else will do a video. I'm probably going to do three or more related to this forum. So thanks for paying attention, and as always, be a creator, not a destroyer.